Hey guys, my name is Cassidy. Welcome back once again to my channel. You are very welcome to the channel where everything is positive, where everything is magnificent, where everything is happy. Yes, so welcome back to my channel, guys. Now this is yet another video, a bit of a random topic this week. As you can tell from the name of this video, it is something that might touch a few people, that people might be like, no, especially females, etc, etc, etc. But yeah, it's this whole thing about men and women in industries, different industries. I think I'll focus more on the creative industry because that's the industry that I am in and that's the industry that I want to develop in. So I'm only going to focus it on that because I can kind of relate a bit more. But I think that this is a topic and something that can relate to maybe any industry in general. So this video basically is just going to be a bit about why I think that guys, why our man them stay winning and stay ahead than females. And there's a few different like things. Once again, I've planned and prepared, as you do. Planned and prepared what I'm gonna say because I've been very good this week. Like, I've been fine good. Like, I don't know why I'm talking like this right now, but I think it's kind of like the look. Like, I don't know, like, does it kind of suit? Okay, I need to stop. So it's just gonna be kind of me touching on the issue. It is definitely an issue, the issue of why men just in general stay winning, stay ahead, whereas women tend to kind of stay behind sometimes, and not all the time. And I'm not speaking for all women. I'm not saying this is absolutely true, but I'm just saying kind of my opinion on, yeah, why men stay ahead, why women don't. Something that I definitely noticed is that, especially in like, let's say the music industry, it tends to be guys who move forward and blow and become like this person that everyone's gassed about, everyone's talking about, whereas females that can sometimes tend to be much more talented than this male that you put on a stage, but yet she's not getting that sort of reception. Now, one thing is this whole idea of gassing people up. Now, I'm going to speak about that a little bit more if you don't really get what I mean, but I'm going to speak about it a little bit more in a bit. But it literally is crazy how when I look to like the music industry, such a big one, where I look to the music industry and you just always see like these people that out of nowhere they blow up, these guys anyway, out of nowhere they blow up. Everybody's talking about them, everybody's tweeting about them, everyone's this, whereas some females who've been working so hard for time are not as big and are not as kind of like the word on the street, the main type of people. Now, I think the first reason as to why that is because there's still this perception of who rules the world? Men. Is this whole idea of like, even though people would like to say, yeah, you know, it's very much equal, there's equality now. And no, I'm not going to go into some proto-feminist rant about how awful the world is and how horrible men are. No, that's not the case. I love men, okay? That sounded so bad. Not like that, but kind of like that, but you get what I mean. But I love our men. I think that we should, as women, encourage men, push men. You know, they say behind every successful man is a woman, and I think that that's so right and that's so beautiful, and we should carry on doing that. But it's this idea, there's still a perception of like, men are still better. The positions of power or positions, certain higher position should be given to men just because, or just because men can't get pregnant, therefore can't take time off, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to get into this whole thing too deep, but it's definitely something that I suggest you think about, because technically, even though people say we're now in the 21st century, it's just like racism, it doesn't exist no more. Listen, it's a lie. Something that has been so deeply rooted within societies for centuries and centuries, years and years, within, I think, all cultures where they put men ahead of women, is something that's not just gonna like disappear after a few hundreds of years or a few thousands of years. That's not the case. It's gonna take a long time, just as much as racism. Racism is so deeply rooted within cultures, within history, so deeply rooted that it's not something that's just gonna disappear or that we can say has disappeared. I think that inequality between men and women, between the sexes, is still very much evident, and it's so upsetting and it's so sad, where you're thinking, wait, hang on, that job that a man is doing, a woman might be able to do it, and she might be able to do it much better. Yeah, there are certain things that we need to accept. At the end of the day, I'm not someone that says men and women are the same. Listen, this is out to all my females right now. Men and women are not the same. Okay, God gave us different parts, God gave us different attributes and different strengths and weaknesses. Just like a man can't get pregnant, which is biological, certain things, even though, yeah, there are women who are very, very, very strong, biologically, men tend to be stronger than women. It's just a fact. Like, women like to cry and be like, no, but like, no, we're not the same. And I don't know why you would want to be the same anyway. We should, like, it's just like race. We should embrace our differences. What is so wrong with being different? What is so wrong with having certain things that men can do better whereas women can't, or certain things that women can do better where men can't? Like, I just don't get it. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So I think that's one thing. Women, first of all, accept that there are differences, okay? There are some things that men might be able to do that we can't. Naturally, biologically, the man is the hunter. It tends to be that the man is the one that wants to put the food on the table, be the breadwinner. Now, of course, women, go out. I'm not saying stay at home or whatever. Go out and do what you want to do, but don't put a man down, like, because you're making more money than him or because of that. Just remember that he has an ego, etc., etc. So, yeah, I'm kind of derailing off a little bit into a little bit of a rant, but it's just like, we should just accept the fact that we are different. But one thing that I say that we shouldn't accept is the fact that people then take that and then manipulate it or give you less of a position or make you feel inferior because of those differences. That's when it becomes wrong. So definitely the first thing as to why I think that in many industries there's still this kind of like inequality and why guys stay winning is because there is the perception that guys are better, guys should have higher positions of power, men should rule in parliament, men should be secretaries of this, secretary of the state, men should be this, men should be that, women are too emotional, women are too this. Listen, all of that is absolute nonsense, okay? Absolute rubbish. Yes, accept the differences, but there are certain and specific jobs that women can do just as well as men. And so that shouldn't even be a reason as to why, like, women should be stopped from being successful because of perception of some idiot man who thinks that because he was born in 1947 and he is an educated man, he thinks that women should be in the kitchen. No, sorry, it doesn't work like that, okay? This is 2015. I was even going to say 14. 2015. The world doesn't work like that anymore. Please, dinosaur, quit. The second reason that I think that men stay winning, whereas women tend to be kind of like in the background, especially when it comes to creative industries, is because men and guys just tend to do. Women, we are so calculated. We know that most of us are control freaks. We want everything to be planned to the T. We want everything to be perfect. We want everything to just be so amazing that we stop ourselves from just kind of jumping into the ocean and just kind of just seeing whether we sink or swim, like just doing it. We want everything to be so perfect. Whereas men, I feel like men are more kind of like just kind of like spontaneous and kind of like, yeah, do you know what, if I want it, I'm gonna go and do it. Whereas women, we're a bit more reluctant. We like to calculate, we like to plan, which is not a bad thing. Everyone that knows me well knows that I'm pretty much a control freak myself. I like things to be perfect. But for example, even with this vlog, making vlogs was a massive risk for me because I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted to get a camera, I wanted it to be all perfect. But then I kind of realized that, Nisi, just do it. At the end of the day, you need to start from somewhere and you're going to progress and you're going to get better, but you need to just kind of start. Like, there's no reason why you should just wait and wait and plan and plan when you're not planning to do anything. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's one thing. Men are just so willing to just be like, forget it, I'm just going to do whatever. I'm just going to dive in, and if I sink, I sink. If I swim, I swim. Whereas women are like, oh no, I don't want to sink. I don't want this to be a problem. I want it to be perfect. I want this to go well. That sometimes we miss out on massive opportunities because we're too busy sitting there planning and prepping, and we're too busy like thinking of like every single angle and not just thinking, yeah, let me just do this kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's another reason. I think this is out to my ladies, like literally, like sometimes it is good to plan, it is good to prepare, but sometimes you just have to take a risk. Like, just take the risk because you never know what could happen. I don't know, that whatever you wanted to start, like just by starting, you could end up so far. Starting today could mean you end up so far and end up doing so well. Like, don't be held back by, I have to make sure it's perfect, I have to make sure I plan, I have to make sure I do this, I have to make sure I do that. You know, I think that could really restrict you and stop you. So yeah, in that way, I say that guys, do something positive, thumbs up, round of applause to you guys, because it tends to be a lot of the guys that I see like around, even like just even on my Snapchat, guys will be like, I'm gonna do this, by next week they've done it. Whereas a female might be like, I'm gonna do this, then they're taking like months and months and months and months to plan and prepare, which sometimes I can admit, actually, on the other hand, it can be very good, because that thing that that guy was like, I'm just gonna do, might last for like a month, whereas the thing that the woman said that she planned and put so much effort into doing could last for years. So it is a bit of a balancing act. I think it does depend on you, but sometimes, ladies, you just have to just do it. Another reason as to why guys stay winning is because guys, the man them, gas each other up so much. Like, I've seen this, like, guys who go up on stage, they might go to a performance, they bring 10 man with them. Then when they're on stage, all these guys are jumping with them, spitting their bars with them. Like, this is in terms of like rappers and stuff or whatever. Spitting their bars with them, gassing them up to the point where the people in the crowd cannot do anything but also be gassed, because everybody on that stage is so gassed. Even though this person could be talking nonsense, can be talking absolute rubbish, they still get gassed and they still get that momentum and that whatever, just because the people with them are gassing them up. Or even on Twitter or whatever, I've realised that guys tend to show each other a lot of love, like, whereas females is more of like, it's almost as though it's like competition. It's like you always have to stay above this female. Oh, my stomach just rumbled. I haven't even eaten. It's like 4 o'clock. I haven't eaten today. But yeah, it's like with females, it's like, it's competition. It's like always like, who's gonna do better? What female looks nicer? Is her eyebrows nice? Is her makeup nice? Is this? It's like, whereas guys will just gas each other up. We'll just make sure that you know, that everyone knows that this is the baddest thing. And even if you didn't originally think that this guy is the baddest thing, because they're gassing the guy up so much, you will just naturally gravitate towards it because everyone's talking about him or whatever. So I definitely, one thing that I have personally noticed, and people might be, you might be watching this and think, yeah, whatever, that's not even the case. Females still gas each other up. I just don't feel like females do it as much as males do. And it's really sad, because we should be gassing each other up. We should be looking at other artists and being like, they are sick, I love them, I support them, oh my god, check this girl out, da, 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 da. We do get it, but I don't think we get it as often as guys. Guys just naturally, on Snapchat, they'll just gas each other up. On Twitter, they'll gas each other up to the point where, because within themselves they're talking about themselves so much, naturally people, like I said, naturally people gravitate towards them. So I think it's definitely something that we should be doing. Like females, we should be gassing each other up. It's not every day let your pride get in the way of you supporting somebody, whether that be male or female. It's not every day you feel like, oh, I'm gonna look like a what do you call it, like a beg. I'm gonna look like a beg. If you think that somebody's good, if you think that someone's amazing, so what? You're supporting somebody. You're supporting what they love. You're supporting something that they've perhaps, not always, but put a lot of time and effort into. What is wrong with that? If you think that a female artist is amazing, gas her up, send her love hearts on Twitter. And I think that's the biggest main reason as to why guys, the man them, stay winning, because they just gas each other up. They don't care. They don't care if you think that they're rubbish. And sometimes I think that even the guys themselves who are gassing their friends up know that their friend is rubbish, but they still gas them up anyway. That I think is wrong. I don't really know how I feel about that, because in a sense I think it's wrong, because how can you be gassing up your friend when you know that they're really bad, but yet you're gassing them up anyway? But yeah, so that's your own. Whether you gas them up anyway, regardless, that's your own. But if you genuinely know somebody that's genuinely talented and you've seen their talent and you love their stuff, oh yeah, tell them. Females just don't do that. And instead, what females tend to do is to try and drag each other down. Like, what is up with that? Like, even in 2015, all over Twitter, you just see people, like females being so spiteful to other females, either through indirects, through, like, sometimes they won't even at them. It would just be common indirects, being so spiteful towards other females, being so horrible when it's just unnecessary. Like, you're unnecessarily being rude. You're unnecessarily being aggressive towards another female. No, be supportive, be encouraging, be motivating, be somebody that helps somebody to build up their empire, help somebody to progress in their life, not a negative force in someone's life. Like, what is the point? If you don't like that person, shum. You know, they say that the tongue is mightier than the sword. Very, very true. Sometimes things that you are thinking don't always need to be said or declared, especially not declared on such an open space such as Twitter, where everyone can see and everyone can add their little Maggie cube, their little seasoning, their little whatever, add their little bits and pieces. Why would you do that? So I'm not gonna say that guys don't do it as well. Listen, we're in 2015 where guys can be just as bad as females sometimes, but I definitely see it more with females, whereas we should just be encouraging each other. And even it'll come like, even with pictures, we're always comparing, her bum is bigger than this person's bum, oh she's flat, she's this, she's that. Like, why? We should be encouraging and pushing each other instead of looking like looking down at each other. And that's definitely something that I urge all females that are watching. Like, don't be that person, don't be drawn into that. It's so easy to turn around and be like, this girl's ugly, this girl is this, this girl is that. But one thing as well that I always say is that you don't know what a person's going through, you don't know a person's story. By you adding to so much negativity, you don't know that person could be going through such a difficult time, then you come and add even more to that. You don't know what you could push that person to do. You could go and push that person to commit suicide, and then what? And then what are you gonna say? You're like, oh, but I didn't lie. Oh, but you never know. But just be positive. Add positivity to people's lives, not negativity. Literally, it's just something that I urge everyone to do in general anyway. But yeah, I just want to say that this is my opinion, okay? If you're watching this and thinking that I'm wrong, please, I'm open to comments. I'm open to criticism. Mainly constructive criticism, if you can be nice, not horrible. But I am definitely open to criticism. If you have a particular opinion on certain things, certain topics, leave your comments below. And if you want me to discuss them more, please do leave them below. Leave your opinions, etc. But yeah, like I said, this is just my opinion. This is what I think. But it's definitely something that I think that as females we should work on. We should work on encouraging each other. I need to really put my laptop on silent when I do these videos. But yeah, encouraging each other, loving each other, seeing each other as queens, as goddesses, seeing each other as having so much potential to change the world and to be so powerful. But instead of limiting each other and basically just adding negativity to each other's lives. So yeah, ladies, just have a think. This was definitely a video for my ladies today. Have a think about how you refer to other females, how you think of other females, how you speak to other females, and also just encouraging. Just drop a nice message to a girl and be like, I'm really motivated by what you do. That will encourage them to keep moving forward, and gas each other up. Gas your fellow females up. Gas your fellow females up. Gas them up. You're not going to look like a beg. You're not going to look like, unless you're like writing 20 million tweets to them, you're not going to look like a beg. You'll just look like somebody who's being positive and supporting somebody else. Gas each other up. If you love a certain female's work or you love them as an artist, gas them up so that someone else will be encouraged to watch them. Because you never know, those, when you're telling somebody else will tell somebody else to watch their video, somebody else will do that, and then it just creates a snowball effect. And then who knows, their video starts hitting 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 views or whatever. Finally someone sees them, finally they get signed. You don't know what could happen. So literally, by you just being that one person that makes that difference, you never know where it could lead somebody. So yeah, that's it really. That's the end of my video. But literally, it's just a topic that I really wanted to talk to you about. It's definitely something that I think is very sad that in 2015 is still kind of happening, this kind of like inequality between men and women. Men still stay winning. Nah, females, you need to rise up. Beyonce said it. Who run the world? Girls. I kind of think more women run the world, not so much girls. But it's definitely a thing where we potentially do run the world. We don't run it alone. We should be running it alongside our men. Like, I think that's kind of natural. But you know, whether you think I'm just being some angry feminist, that's your opinion. I'm really not. But yeah, I'm gonna go now because I'm stupidly hungry and my stomach keeps rumbling. But yeah, thank you so much for sitting once again and watching my video. Like, subscribe, share. Please thumbs up for this video if you like this kind of stuff. If there's anything that you would like me to talk about, drop me an email and I'll definitely be willing to talk about it. Stay beautiful, and thank you so much for watching. Let's just love. And my arm just clicked. Let's love. Oh.
particular?
What am I doing with my life? I'm filming
Wait, see,
myself taking a picture.